The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is... Please note, the new number is...
Timmy. Alrighty, we're all on the same call. Here's John, my partner, and then here's the seller, Greg.
Hey, Greg. How you doing?
Hey, John, I'm doing pretty well. Just trying to honor the Lord and trying to have a great day. How about yourself, sir?
I'm trying to do the exact same. It's a lot of pressure trying to honor the Lord on a daily basis, is it not?
Absolutely. I do a lot of devotionals and whatnot, and they talk about people who are Christians that, don't even think about God for about, 2-3 days or so. And I'm thinking, how is that possible? I think about the Lord, if 10 minutes goes by and I haven't had thoughts about the Lord, it's kind of strange. So I just don't get that aspect of it. But the enemy, he jumps in, and he's always actively trying to destroy and create havoc and do everything to deceive us, manipulate us, and turn us in circles, and just keep us from having joy and honoring and glorifying the Father. And it's a pleasure to hear people like yourselves that actually genuinely do love and serve the Lord. So
Awesome. So what do we got going with this property? You're looking to sell it. If we were to buy this property, where do you go?
Where do I go? Most likely I'll end up in a semi-assisted type living situation.
Okay.
There's a program that my daughter recently introduced me to where I don't know how much Timmy told you about my background, but I'm disabled, and I'm, getting older. My condition's getting worse, and it's just the home's way too big. I'm not able to care for things anymore. My daughter and her husband and grandkids were living here. They just got divorced about a month and a half ago, so he left instantly, and now my daughter has left as well, and it's all too much for me on every level, spiritually, emotionally, financially, in every aspect. So, that's what I'm looking into. Or, with the way that Timmy and I discussed the creative planning, or what it is, that could work for a situation for me to have a sustainable, along with my disability, functional life and be happy and content in that, or, potentially maybe an apartment, if not anything else.
Gotcha. Okay. So I got a little bit of background on this. I think Timmy told me you were trying to get, what was it, 270,000?
Well, I was hoping in the beginning to get 270, 280, 290, but I was not expecting it necessarily. Decided to check out a realtor. She said, if you do nothing, no cleanup, and not getting things fixed up or whatever, she said, I would list it today at 270, and I think that we could get several offers and probably get more. But it's possible that it may take time. And she said, obviously, the more that you do, and the more that you get out of here, and the more that you clean it up, the more likely it is to get a higher price.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
That's what got me to that figure, because theoretically I could do that. I mean, I could take what is here today, and if I were to have a little bit of cash and get some help, 2 days I could dramatically change the condition of the home. I mean, it's mostly a matter of stuff, cleaning, just like actual mopping and, cleaning. And I probably wouldn't do the painting per se, but I know that you would, want to paint probably throughout. But because there's some odd color choices, very odd color choices.
Okay.
And that mostly stemmed from I went and my daughter was living here while I was living with my ex-wife. And they decided to take really functional, great, good-looking paint and then paint some ridiculous colors.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So I'm not going to lie, the paint throughout would make a dramatic difference.
Okay. How much do you think it would cost me to paint that house?
To paint it?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about anything about the outside of the house.
Okay.
The inside of the house, I don't know. I think it could probably, are you talking about labor?
Yeah, if I was to hire somebody.
And I haven't really checked into painting companies lately. I probably would just try to find a handyman, cheap, whatever. But I don't know, maybe $500 to $700.
Okay. Okay. How many square feet is this house? Because I'm getting some conflicting information depending on where I look it up. I see anywhere from 1,500 to 2,292. Like, I'm not even sure how many square feet we're talking about here.
Well, that's the thing. Well, I'm pretty positive that it's 1,565.
Okay.
I have a huge sunroom with that beautiful Spanish tile. The previous owners told me they paid $60K to have that put on, like 9 months prior. So I found it hard to believe because of what I paid for the home. But anyway, it's a beautiful sunroom, and it's all, glassed in, and it can be switched easily, and then you slide it over, and it's all screened in. And, especially in the spring and the fall, it's an amazing space. But it doesn't count as square footage because it did not put heating and cooling in. And so, so I would say that it's like 1965 plus the size of the sunroom is 19 feet wide by 14 feet long. I don't know how that calculates into square footage. But I just measured it with a tape last night. So, again, 19 wide and 14 long. And yeah, it's a beautiful room. The fan that's in there, those blades, they need to be replaced. Just a couple of screws or fan blades. Or if you wanted to get a whole brand new fan, but I think just putting 4 new blades on it would be fine, because I don't know if you've seen on the picture how they're kind of like drooped down.
I haven't seen the photo, no. Timmy, do we have photos?
I didn't see any. Did you send it to my email?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to ask you before we connected with John. I sent you a couple over texts, and then I sent you a couple more to your email, and I was just kind of testing that your email was working. And,
okay.
And I sent like 22 of them, and it was saying that, it was a large thing, so it wanted to drop it into your email, like do the airdrop thing.
Right.
So that it can go through, and that was the thing I was trying to ask you before we connected with John. So you should have all the pictures.
Okay, let me check it.
On my end, it shows a sent, but I don't know. on
Yeah.
your end.
Yeah,
Oh,
Timmy,
yeah, I got them.
you did get them? Okay, cool. If you can get those over to me, that would be great. Just put them all in a Dropbox, my man, and send them over. Not Dropbox, but we went through that yesterday. Put them in the Google Drive and send those over to us.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so the pictures I'm looking at, I think I just see it's a picture of the furnace, and the other one's the water heater.
Yeah, those are just the first two kind of testing and accidental ones.
Okay.
The big load of like 22 or 23 has not gotten to you.
Yeah, I haven't gotten those yet.
Okay, I'm gonna really get on speaker here and look on my end.
Okay.
Okay.
Because it should. Let me look at my sent to Timmy. That one. Well, it's showing, yeah, you're showing the two. I don't know, it's not acting like the other one is not set, but while you guys talk, I'll do them. I guess I probably should not have done as many as I did
Okay.
at a time. So I'll
Maybe,
just
Timmy,
have to-
you could send him a Google Drive that he could drop the photos in. I'm not sure how that works. I'm technologically challenged.
Yeah,
I was even hoping I could just text them to Timmy.
That'd be fine, too, I think.
yeah, you can just text it over.
Oh, if I can do that, that'll...
Timmy's one of these technological geniuses and whatnot. I'm pretty sure, like, he might be a wizard. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I got the degree, computer science.
Yeah, and I didn't, so.
Yeah, neither did I. We got Gandalf in the house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, Greg. We will be referred to as Gandalf moving forward. I've just renamed him. I like Gandalf a lot better. That is solid.
I need to grow a sick beard.
Yeah, you do. Absolutely.
For sure. Well, I gotta tell you, I got a buddy of mine, and that actually, he kind of looks like Robert De Niro, younger version, but like spit an image. It's crazy. I showed him a picture next to it, and so I started calling him De Niro.
Nice.
And so, bro, you got to come up with someone for me. And he's like, I don't know, man, like Gandalf. And I'm like, I don't look anything like Gandalf. What are you talking about? He's
Nice.
like, bro, you're 6'5", you're slender, you carry around a little pack, you're always making some crazy shit happen, and like, bro, you're Gandalf. And I'm like,
Epic.
man. I was like, I'll take it. Gandhi's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really a compliment. Like it.
So, Greg, I'm looking online right now, and there's a property at 2525 West Katella Lane here, and that one just sold for $195,000. It's the same makeup as yours. Maybe this one's a 3-in-1. Yours is a 3-in-2, correct?
3 and 1.5.
Okay, so we'll call it 3-in-2. That's fine. 1.5 doesn't matter. Basically, this one sold for $195,000 on April 1st of 2024. Then I see another one here. It was a 3-in-1, a little bit smaller than yours, maybe 100 square feet. That one sold for $155,000. And then I see another one here. That one's on Primrose. Then there's another one on Primrose that sold for $254,000. So I'm just trying to put together where the realtor came up with $270,000 as an asking price. Any reason that you didn't move forward with her? Like, why wouldn't you just list this on the market?
Mostly a matter of time and quick cash.
Okay.
I talked extensively about that, but I think a big part of it is I have like a brand new $8,000 furnace.
Okay.
I have a brand new 4 times the size hot water heater. I have all new, fixtures and, knobs and screws and the hinges and whatnot, all in the cabinets. I also think the $60,000 sunroom, that clearly adds a lot to the overall scheme of things. I mean, that was one of the big things that sold me on the home originally. And it's just got, an A-plus roof. It's got, I'm outside city limits, so we can burn, shoot fireworks year-round, so on and so forth. She believes that the home could be, get a little bit of love and paint and, maybe some trim in places and, just a few little cosmetic things. And that it could get anywhere from, $320 to $350.
Really?
That was her quote, yes.
Wow.
And like I said, just getting the stuff that's here out and some paint and some trim, a couple little holes here and there. I want to change a door, the doorway into one of the bigger bedrooms, and of course some, a little bit of landscaping stuff. And you've got one of the bigger homes on the block, and you've got, like I said, a big selling point is the, that beautiful large sunroom with that tile. And my picture right now doesn't do it justice because it's a mess and there's just stuff in there. And like I said, with being disabled, I've had a rough go. It's been a very traumatic out of month. Had a lot of kind of catastrophes. Went to the hospital, got a concussion. My daughter went through a divorce. I mean, I could list off about 30 semi-fiascos that have occurred lately that have set me back and have put me in a position where I'm at. That all makes sense.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. It's just I'm trying to just put the math together, so I get where you're coming from. I mean, the highest amount of money that you're going to get is probably going to be with the realtor. I mean, if we're going to pay cash for this thing, I got to be able to buy this at a cash price, and there's got to be some room in this thing for me to make some improvements because I'm going to want to put it on the market, right? I'm going to want to fix it up, put some paint on it, replace the screws in the ceiling fan and all the stuff that you already know that needs to happen to get top dollar and list this thing for sale. I still have to turn a profit. And if that realtor, I mean, if you've got her contact information and we can come to some sort of a cash deal where we can close fast, like if she seriously thinks that we can get that kind of money, that's the agent that I need. Because I'm just looking around the neighborhood at what's sold. The highest sale anywhere in this neighborhood is $310,000, and there's only one of those. Everything else is, it's got a 2 in front of it. Like I said, that one down the street was at $195. The one right behind you is at $155. There's one for $254. There's one for $175. Then if you cross Scenic Avenue, which we wouldn't cross a major intersection like that to pull comps, right? Because we want to compare apples to apples. We want those apples in the same orchard and preferably on the same tree. So apples that are on the same tree would be like this one that's right here for $195,000 that sold. It's not what it's listed for, it's what it's sold for. 2525 West Katella Lane. That looks like to be a pretty solid comp. We would just have to verify the square footage, but that's neither here nor there.
See, that's the thing about that home. I'm familiar with that because I've known the people who've lived there.
Yep.
It's tiny. Like, you can't move around. There's like, it's just really, really small. And I believe it's only 2 bedrooms.
No, it's a 3-bedroom, 1 bath according to the tax records. So the 2525 Katella Lane, it's 1,232 square feet, sold for $195. Built in 1972, just like yours, sold on April 1st of 2024. You can look it up on Zillow. Are you familiar with Zillow?
Yeah, on Zillow, yeah, it says mine is like 213.
Right.
Estimate, but again, it doesn't know about all the upgrades and amenities and the, probably, all the stuff that I put into it, all the money that I put into it. But you also got to factor in, like you said, the love and the wiggle room to make something happen. And I did talk to Timmy about the fact that it may have to be a little bit lower. The creative financing or whatever, I still get caught up with that terminology. I believe that I understand it, and I think that it just essentially puts it in your hand. Clearly, the market's going to continue to go up, and prices are going to go up. My home's gone. Every home's gone up, and it's a seller's market, and it's Springfield is very, it's growing. It's blowing up, and this neighborhood is one of the best neighborhoods in Springfield. The north side of Springfield is terrible and overrun and just a wreck. And the south side of Springfield is, where the nice area is. And I'm in, like, the furthest southwest corner, which some would argue that the east is the best side of the south, but, either way. It's in the best part of Springfield, but yeah, if honestly, we came down to get you a little more cash into it. Right now, even in my head, I'm thinking like 250. I could go there.
Okay. And then if we were to be able to agree on 250 as the price, then what are you looking for a down payment?
What do you mean?
If we were going to pay 250 and go the creative route, we'd give you a down payment and make payments on this thing every month. So what would we have to pay down? Put in your pocket today.
What I was thinking with Timmy was about 10,000.
Okay.
And then talking about monthly payments of around $2,500 to $3,500, and then that balloon thing accruing 7 years, and my math at 270 after you paid off the mortgage lien that's on itself, and did all that. That would lose me another 5,000. So unless I'm like included as a part of how you're going to, gain value in the home, those type of payments and that drop that you're going to pay and what you're going to be paying for mortgage, to me it looks like after 7 to 8 years, I'll wind up with between 30 $270,000 based on, between 250 and 270.
Okay, the rent in the area, it shows here on Zillow that the rents in the area are about $1,575. So if I'm going to make your mortgage payment, which was $600 and some odd dollars, and then I'm going to come give you $2,500, let's just use that as a number. So I'm like in this thing $3,200 a month. If it only rents for $1,575, how do I make any money?
I'm sorry, say that again.
If your mortgage payment, here, let me look at this thing. If your mortgage payment is $632.11 a month, and then you want me to pay you $2,500 a month. Now I'm in this property $3,132.11. If the rents in that area are $1,500, I'd be losing $1,500 a month. So I'm trying to figure out how I make money.
Well, I'm not sure. Basically, you're saying my numbers are too high.
Yeah, because basically, if like for instance, if you were to go rent this house out and you can get $1,500, let's call it $1,600 a month, you'd be putting almost $1,000 a month in your pocket that way.
Right.
So why wouldn't you just go rent it out yourself instead of selling it? Wouldn't that make more sense to you?
It does, but I don't have the finances or resources and the ability to get people in here. Like I had spoken with Timmy yesterday, there's been 7 different people that have moved into the home across the street, straight across, but to the left of it, tiny little house, not very well upgraded, not very manicured. It's always kind of been a mess. Generally, riffraff have gone there, but it has never sat for less than 2 weeks. And I believe the last time they put it up, it was just like 2 or 3 months ago. And I want to say they were asking $2,200 a month for rent.
Okay.
And they had people in there in like 2 weeks.
Okay.
So, I don't know what they do that every time. They just come out, and it's not like a crew or any kind of companies or anything, and it's just the owner comes and he just does a few little things and goofs around and puts a little sign out front with some flyers in it, and next thing you know, 2 weeks later, he's got it rented out.
So he's renting it out for $2,200. Obviously, he's making some sort of a financial gain by doing that, right? My problem is if I give you $3,100 a month and I rent it out for $2,200 a month, I'd be losing $900 every single month.
Well, the way that I was looking at it is that the only amount of money that I'm going to be giving, the only way that the payments and the structure and everything is going to work is that it just all has to meet up at the price, at the $250 price. So if I'm taking the initial cash and then I'm, taking XYA amount of payments, then whenever, in my mind, this is how I see it, is whenever that $250,000, if we were to go there instead of $270, whenever that runs out, whenever $250,000 runs out, I'm out of the loop. I'm done. If there's money remaining, I get a payout in 7 years. And if there is not, then maybe it doesn't get to 7 years. Maybe it, it ends at 6 years. But I know that you know the numbers and the math and all of it, and I'm, mathematically inclined to a degree, so I can see, that's what I'm saying. I would think that at the end, that's how it would work out. I wasn't thinking, obviously, you're in it to make money as well. I know Jay said you guys want to help and honor the Lord and whatnot, but at the end of the day, it's about making money. So the house is going to continue to grow in value. So you're grabbing an asset that is going to continue to mature. It's never gone down in value. It's only gone up. So it's going to continue to become more valuable, and you're going to have that money process and the value of the home going up and up and up, unless you just instantly do all the refurbishing and whatnot and then sell it for what you want and, get the price or rent it. Timmy had mentioned that you do a lot of renting and kind of thought you were more so on the route of renting it because he was talking about him, you getting tenants in here right away so that you can start making money off rent and whatnot. Yeah. Maybe I misunderstood.
No, that's totally fine. But if the rents in the area are, say, $2,200 and I've got to pay $3,200 out, how do I make any money? I can't go rent it out for $4,000, right?
Right. No, I know that's what I'm saying is that the math all has to line up.
Yeah.
For you to pay me $250,000 in the end.
So here's the deal. If I was to pay $250,000 for this house right now, and I was to put $10,000 down, and I was to amortize this loan over 30 years at 0% interest, right? Because that's basically what we do. We're willing to overpay for the house as long as the terms make financial sense. So if I was to go pay $250,000 for this house as is, give you $10,000 down, amortize that over 30 years, my payment to the bank would only be $898.
Okay.
So that would include the property taxes and the homeowner's insurance in my calculation. The principal and interest would be $667. So if I could pay your mortgage, the $632 a month, I could give you $10,000 in cash. I could pay you $667 a month and cover the taxes and the insurance, right? That's going to be taken care of when I make the payment to the bank, right? So that's got nothing to do with you. Is that something that we can get done, or are we too far away?
Okay, say you're saying you would give me $10,000 down right away.
Correct.
And then you would continue to pay the mortgage.
Correct.
But then I would not be receiving any payments?
Yeah, you'd be receiving $667 a month until we ended up either selling the property or refinancing out of it. But basically, if I'm doing the math with the calculator that I've got right in front of me, if I pay $250,000 for this house with $10,000 down, I amortize that over 30 years, my payment would only be $667 a month. So, I mean, that's where I would be. I would be making your payment on the FHA loan, the $630, let's call it $633, right? We'll just get rid of the change. That covers the taxes, the insurance. I would be responsible for all of the maintenance, all of the everything. You would just get a check every single month for $667. So basically, I would be in this thing. Let me do the math real quick on this. Get the calculator. Let's call it 633 plus 667. That basically puts me at $1,300 a month total, covering the mortgage, covering the seller finance portion to you. And basically, if I put a tenant in there, let's just say it's $2,300, I'd be cash positive $1,000 every single month. So basically, this is how I like to explain it to folks. And I do this all day, every single day with Creative Finance across the United States. If I had a $100,000 house that I could sell you for $1 million, your answer would be no. No way. That's crazy. But if I had a $100,000 house, I could sell you for $1 million, but your payment was only $500 a month, and you knew you could rent it out for $1,000 a month, that's what we buy. We buy cash flow. As long as I got more money coming in than I got going out, I can make any deal work, period. So that is what I'm trying to figure out, how we can put a deal together. But if I needed to pay the mortgage and I need to pay you $2,500, it just won't financially pencil. I'd have more money going out than I have coming in. I have no problem paying you $250,000, even though nothing in the area is selling for that, so I'm overpaying for the property. Don't have a problem with that. It's just the monthly payments need to make sense. And if I could get the total monthly payments closer to that $1,300, like I just did the math, I could make this deal work.
Well, I certainly understand what you're saying, and again, I understand that it's all about making money. At the end of the day, no matter what happens, I end up receiving the $250,000. It just all matters what. Okay, let's hypothetically say that we do that.
Okay.
But you and give me, for whatever reason, said 7 or 8 years is when you get paid out.
The balloon payment, right. So at the end of 8 years, this is what I would do. I would go to the bank and I would say, I've got this property and I want to do a cash out refi. So basically the bank would say, okay, John, it looks like you paid $250,000 for this house back in 2024, and now it's 2032. The house is worth $330,000, and basically they give me a loan on the house. I'm just using numbers. Let's say they gave me $330,000. Whatever remaining balance I had to the bank, I'd have to pay that off. Whatever remaining balance I had to you, I'd have to pay that off. So let's just say that was $250,000 between you and the bank. It's all paid off, right? Now I've got $70,000, $80,000 in cash in my pocket, and I've got a new mortgage, and I've got a payment that I'm only making to the bank. You've got all of your money. The bank on your original loan, they've got all of their money, and I got a cash flowing asset that basically, when I do that cash out refi, I don't pay any capital gains on that money. It's a loan. That's how guys like Elon Musk get super rich. You always hear about people not paying taxes. Well, Elon Musk gets paid in Tesla stock. So he takes the stock and he goes to the bank and says, hey, I got this much stock. Will you give me a loan against my stock? And they say, yeah. So basically he gets big chunks, millions of dollars in his pocket. That's a loan. It's not taxable income. And that's why he doesn't pay any taxes. We do the same thing essentially with these investment properties. I don't care if I go to the bank and say, hey, I want a 40-year mortgage. I want a 50-year mortgage. Like, I'm 54 years old right now. There's no way that I'm going to be alive when this thing is paid off if I did a 40 or a 50-year loan on it, right? I never want to pay these things off. I want to continue to cash out refi because I don't pay any taxes on that money. And that's how investors continue to keep the party going.
Right. yeah, I completely get it. And I see the beauty of it, and it's clearly an investment for you and for me to a degree. My question is, if I were to accept what you're saying, you give me $10,000 today,
Mm-hmm.
and you give me that 667 payment a month.
Right.
Once the 7 or 8 years comes to term, what is my payout going to be? Have you done the math?
I can do the math on that. I can get the amortization scale set up, because we still owe money to the bank too, right?
Yes, but like you said, you will have gained most likely anywhere from $50,000 to $150,000 in value in the home, depending on how the market goes.
Yeah, absolutely. But here's the flip side of that. If I came and I gave you a big chunk of money, you would pay capital gains tax on that, because you only paid $74,000 for this house. So anything above $74,000, they would tax you on that. When you do a seller finance, in this case, it's a hybrid, right? I'm buying the house subject to the current financing that's already in place, and I'm doing a seller finance deal. So it's basically known as a hybrid. And basically any money that I paid you every single month, I mean, if the IRS is going to tax you, they're only going to tax you on that. So essentially, less than $8,000 a year. Plus, if you go into, some of these homes and whatnot, they want you to take all of your assets, liquidate them, and give them the keys to your checkbook, right? I see that all of the time. You've just got to make sure that you're financially protected. So if the house is sold to me, the house would be in my name. The loan would stay in your name. We'd be cutting you a check every single month. So kind of how that works is this. We hire a third-party servicing company. So they come, I'm just going to use a round number. Let's just say it's $1,300. They're going to come take money out of my account. They're going to pay the bank the $633 that they're owed every single month. And then they're going to send Greg $667 every single month. That can be electronic deposit. That can be a check, whatever it is. And then they're going to send you an email. I don't know how much email you use, but they'll basically send you an email and say, hey, John's made the payment again, see you next month. And they'll keep a written transaction, right? A ledger between the two of us. So we know how much money I've spent and, to the bank, how much money I've given to you. And when it comes to that 8-year mark, I can do the calculation up. My calculator isn't in my Dropbox right now, so I don't know. One of the knuckleheads in our office took that out. But I can get the exact payout that you would receive at, say, the 8th year. And there's no guarantee that I'm going to keep this thing for 8 years, right? Right now, the interest rates are crazy. Doesn't make any financial sense for me to go get a cash out refi right now. But in a couple of years, let's say that the rates come down, it makes financial sense. I cash out. They're going to pay off whatever remaining balance to the bank. They're going to pay off whatever remaining balance I owe to you. They're going to give me a fresh loan, and they're going to give me a bag of money that I'm not going to get taxed on. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know, but 8 years usually gives me enough runway. I like to do them between 7 and 10 years at a minimum. 8 makes me feel good. I think I've got enough runway. I think I've got enough magic tricks in my pocket that I can figure out how to make this thing cash flow and basically turn a profit and get Greg all of the money that Greg deserves. Because, I mean, if you put this thing on the market for $300,000 with realtor fees, closing costs, et cetera, and so forth, maybe you put $270,000 in your pocket. But what you also have to understand is there has to be comps in the area. They'll send an appraiser out there. that'll basically look at all the like-minded, the same type properties, like I explained, apples to apples in the same orchard. And essentially, they're not going to loan more money than the house is worth. So right now in its current condition, in my opinion, I think I'm overpaying for the house, and I'm okay with that. I'm fine with overpaying for the house. I can get in and out. We can put 10 grand in your pocket and send you a check for $667 every single month until one of two things happens. One, I go to the bank and cash out refi, pay you off your chunk of chips, pay off the bank, and now I own the house and a bag of money. Or two, the 8 years comes along and I do the exact same thing. So if the interest rates are at like 15%, well, that's my problem. I'm going to have to watch the market and know when it's time to go make a move. It doesn't make any financial sense. I cannot go to a bank right now and get your interest rate of 3.75%. Not on my best day. I don't know anybody in the world that can go get an interest rate at 3.75%. That's what makes subject to so attractive to investors like us.
So you're saying I did a good thing and you like it, and
absolutely.
But you still just aren't sure what that 8-year payout's going to be.
I'll get that for you. Like, I've got guys in my office that are a lot smarter than me. I'll have them pencil that all up. I'll send it over to Timmy, a.k.a. Gandalf, and have him shoot that over to you. And if everything looks good, this is what I can expect on year 5. This is what I can expect on year 6. Like, it'll show you year by year what the final payoff would be. So you'll know to the penny. So if next year, if interest rates came down and for some reason I was able to cash out refi, you would know that I would owe you, X amount of dollars. It would all be documented. I've got all the paperwork. We've got the attorneys, all of that stuff. But I can get you that payoff for sure.
Okay. And I'm in the whole thing, the bottom line, I am no part of, the inflation and
nothing.
Price bill
no,
and whatnot.
Doesn't matter. The market can crash. The market can go down, and your house could be worth $150,000. That's my problem.
The only thing that Greg is $250K, and that's it. And the way he gets it is $10K down, his mortgage paid every month, and a payment of $667.
Correct.
And we're not positive yet after 8 years what his final payout's going to be.
Correct. So if I was to take this out to quote term with you, yeah, at the 8-year mark, whatever we had left over, we would pay that off to you. Yes, sir. And I'll get you that number.
Okay.
I just need about an hour. All of the guys in our office are out to lunch right now. And I mean, if you talk to some of these guys, it seems like they're out to lunch, period. But that's a whole nother story. But between Gandalf and I over here, we'll get you the final numbers if you give us about an hour. Then I've got to go snatch my kids up from school. So I could be available by phone. I wouldn't be in front of my computer, but Gandalf could basically run whatever numbers and send stuff back and forth for us. But we can have another conversation. If this looks like something that you want to move forward with, I can get all the paperwork drawn up, and we can send it out to you for electronic signature. Have you used like DocuSign or something like that before?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Perfect.
And, if we were to go forward, when would I receive that $10,000?
I need to check and make sure that we don't have any additional liens and whatnot. But usually it takes 30 days or less. I could probably do it in 20 days, but I don't know what I don't know. If I can do it sooner than 30 days, obviously we're going to do it. Is that a timeline, or do you need money faster than that?
Oh, I would like it faster, but I understand things do take time.
Yeah. We don't have any banks involved. Like, we got to get all the paperwork. We got to get the servicing company set up. Obviously, we're going to send somebody out to take a gander at the property in person. And then if everything checks out with the title company, there's no additional liens. And even if there are additional liens, we'll bring that up to you. We'll figure out how to alleviate that, whether those are things that I'm going to assume, those are things that, we take off the price. Like, I don't know what I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I think your major concern right now is knowing how much money in year 8 will Greg pocket, and what's his Christmas going to look like.
Exactly. But Timmy's aware of the in-house with Freedom Mortgage, the 2 liens that equate to about $5,000.
Okay.
Between the both of them, maybe topping out at 6, maybe. One is currently in progress.
And what were those liens?
They were they called them new programs that they were doing for, I had fallen behind 2 or 3 months in payments.
Oh, okay.
I believe the first one was like $2,300 or $2,500,
Mm-hmm.
and they just had me sign the docs, and they said the only thing it affects is if you go to try to refinance,
right,
or if you sell the home, this needs to be satisfied first.
So basically, it sounds like they put you into some sort of a forbearance program, and basically it sits there like a silent second. There's no payments due, but like you said, when you go to sell this house, those would have to be settled at the closing table.
Yep, I was telling Kimmy about both of them, and it's going to be between 5 and 6.
Okay. Yeah, we can figure that out. I'm not too concerned. And that may be something when we transfer the title into our name, it may trigger a payment. We might have to come out of pocket for that immediately. I'm not going to get out over my skis. We'll figure that out. Every single deal, there's no cookie cutter deals. I've never seen the same deal over and over and over and over again. Every single real estate transaction's like a snowflake. And we got the Lord looking over our transaction, right?
Absolutely, the Holy Spirit.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes,
so,
sir.
So let me get to work on getting you the numbers. And then I will have Gandalf, a.k.a. Timmy, give you a call here in a few minutes, or probably like an hour, because these knuckleheads need to come back from lunch and tell me where my calculator is. We'll print this thing up, and we'll send it over to you so you can see the amortization chart.
Okay.
Okay? Do you have any other questions for me while you got me on the phone? I'm sure you'll have some later.
I've got it pretty well squared
Okay.
in my head. It's less attractive than what Timmy and I were talking about last night, but it's also understandable, and I think the problems that you're going to come across, just out-of-pocket costs as far as, cleanup and, painting that crap,
Mm-hmm.
that you're going to come out in the end way ahead. But I also feel like me getting 250 is maybe even overly fair. So, I'm curious what Christmas looks like.
Okay. Well, let us get that penciled up. I appreciate you taking a considerable amount of time with me, and we'll get back to you in the next hour or less.
Sounds fantastic.
Appreciate it, Greg. God bless you. Talk to you soon, my man.
Cool. Thanks, Greg.
Uh-huh. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm a bad motherfucker.